I'm sharing everything we did and all the money we spent during our 5 days and 4 nights in Xi'an, China. And when I say everything, I mean absolutely everything. Entrance fees, guides, taxis, trains, food, coffee, souvenirs, the lot. We're a family of 5 traveling with 3 kids, so hopefully this gives you a really sick idea of what a trip like this would actually cost, and not just the highlights but the real day-to-day spending. I will break it down day by day, and at the end I'll show you the total cost plus a couple of big expenses that aren't actually included in the daily budget. Before I jump into day 1, I quickly want to thank Saily for partnering with us on this video. If you're planning a trip to China or honestly anywhere internationally, having internet the moment that you land is absolutely essential. In China, you will need internet to use Alipay, Didi, the metro, food delivery apps, translation tools, maps, absolutely everything, so you just can't travel here properly without data. That's why I recommend using Saily, which is a new eSIM app brought to you by the creators of NordVPN. Before your trip, download and open the Saily app. Choose your destination and pick a data plan. At checkout, you can apply my coupon code ELISA15 to get 15% off. You're welcome. Then install the eSIM and that's it. The moment you land, you're connected. No airport SIM queues, no crazy roaming fees, and best of all, Saily bypasses the firewall here in China, so you have access to all the sites that you used to back home. Saily has plans in over 200 destinations and it works on both iOS and Android. This is honestly such an easy solution for us as a traveling family, so if you're traveling soon, download Saily and use my code ELISA15. You can scan the QR code on the screen, and I'll also put the link in the description below. Now let's get into what we spent in Xi'an, starting with day 1. We arrived in Xi'an after an overnight sleeper train from Hangzhou. From the train station, we used Didi to order 2 cars to get to our hotel. Because we are a family of 5, it's often cheaper to order 2 regular cars than a 6-seater. That cost us 22 RMB total for both cars. It was actually a little bit early to check in, so we dropped off our bags and we walked around the area near our hotel to get our bearings. Then we dropped into a local restaurant for lunch, hoping to grab some traditional Xi'an dishes. For our first meal in Xi'an, and unfortunately we didn't actually take any footage of this, we had biang biang noodles, rujiama or Chinese burgers, and we got 3 of them, stir-fried noodles and dumplings. And honestly, this turned out to be one of our favorite meals of the entire trip. And the total cost was just 71 RMB. Later, we walked through what's known as Snack Street, where we grabbed 2 coffees for 16 RMB and an accidental ice cream purchase for 6 RMB from Lucky Cup. I actually made a YouTube short about this if you're interested in the incident, and I'll link that too if you're curious. We then walked over to Bell Tower, but only viewed it from across the street. The kids were pretty tired, and since you can actually buy a combined ticket from the Bell Tower and the Drum Tower, we decided to come back another day and do them both together. To get back to the hotel, we decided to take the metro, and it was 2 RMB per person and EVA rides for free. So total, it was 8 RMB. For dinner, we were actually celebrating Christmas Eve, and so we went a bit over the top. And we got steaks for 219 RMB, pizza for 202 RMB, and desserts for 93 RMB. That's 514 RMB for dinner, and we had so much food left over that it fed us again later in the trip. So, our day 1 total came to 637 RMB. Day 2 was a big one. Not only was it Christmas Day, but we were finally going to see the famous Terracotta warriors, which is something that we had been wanting to do for a very long time. Breakfast was included for the 2 of us, but we paid for Javi and Joaquin at 15 RMB each, so it was 30 RMB extra for breakfast. And after breakfast, we ordered a 6-seater Didi to the Terracotta Warriors, which cost us 258 RMB. We did look at other more cost-effective options, such as using public transport, but ultimately we decided that for 5 people, plus the convenience and the time that it would take to get there, it was absolutely worth the cost of a taxi. When we arrived at the side entrance, we were immediately bombarded by people selling souvenirs and offering guide services. This was actually the first time that we'd experienced this in China.
This is not our first experience traveling through China during a busy period. This is actually a quiet period, but this is the first time we have actually been hounded like that. We haven't experienced that before here, so Yeah, that was a little bit shocking. People tapping on us and trying to sell us stuff. We've experienced this everywhere else around the world, so I'm not bashing the locals, that's for sure. Just saying that I'm surprised.
Tickets to the Terracotta Warriors side cost us 360 RMB for the whole family, and we decided to hire a guide on site. Today we're doing something very different. We are visiting the Terracotta Warriors, but that's not what's different about it. What's different is that we actually got a guide. We usually do everything on our own. We research, and I usually read everything that there is to know, and I pass that on to the kids as we walk through historical places. But this time, everything that I've read online said that you're going to get more out of it if you have somebody explaining and being able to answer the questions. So before coming, I did a little bit of research, and anything that I could book via trip.com or Get Your Guide was going to cost us upwards of 90 USD. That was just the basic, just to have somebody meet us at the front. That didn't include tickets and didn't include anything else, picking you up, dropping you off, nothing at all. And so we decided just to leave it to last minute. We then also read that you could find guides that actually work for the mausoleum right in front of the venue. So that's essentially what we did. We thought we might just get the audio guide, but we quickly got approached by multiple guides, and it's going to cost us 350 RMB for about 1.5 to 2 hours. And you know, she will explain everything in the first section, and then if we decide to have her longer, we can, but then she can go and we can continue our own pace, because you know, that's what we're used to. You know, we're used to just taking it slow because we are with the children, but now they're at that age where they do have questions, they're really interested, and they were really looking forward to coming here. So I think it should be great. So we have Linda today. Hi, Linda.
Hi. Welcome to Xi'an.
Thank you. So she is hopefully going to fill us all in, and we'll understand what's going on. We'll see you inside.
Her name was Linda, and she charged us 350 RMB. And on top of that, we paid 10 RMB per person for earpieces. So that was 50 RMB total. And honestly, this was a really good decision. It was noisy, crowded, and sometimes we got slightly separated.
Abby!
Just go inside, downstairs, left side.
I'll find it. Wait here, I'll go find it.
But we could still hear everything clearly. The kids were also genuinely interested, and Linda's English was excellent. We're really used to doing everything DIY when we travel, so in this instance, we found it absolutely worth it to have the guide lead the way. Now, here's what you get to see at the Terracotta Warriors. We visited all 3 main pits. Pit 1 is the largest and most impressive. Thousands of life-size soldiers are arranged in battle formation. This is the iconic image most people associate with the Terracotta Army. Pit 2 shows the mix of cavalry, archers and chariots, giving a better idea of how the army was organized. Pit 3 is much smaller, but believed to be the command center, where high-ranking officers plan strategy. During the tour, we were taken through the official souvenir shops, where we bought these mini replica figurines. All up, they cost 920 RMB. And yes, you can find cheaper ones outside, and looking back, we perhaps should have tried to barter, but you know, we were told that these were higher quality and made from the same mud from the Terracotta Warriors themselves. Now, whether that's true or not, I will let you decide. Before continuing the tour, we had a short break so the kids could have a snack. The guide led us to a quiet cafe spot upstairs. David had a coffee, and we bought one for the guide at 30 RMB each, so 60 RMB total. After the tour, our guide insisted on taking us to a jade shop. It was interesting to learn about the different colors of jade, but it became pretty clear that this was just a commission stop, so we promptly walked out. By this point, we were actually hungry and ready for a break after walking for over 2 hours, and after the jade shop experience, we were pretty eager to say goodbye to the guide. The guide then suggested a restaurant that apparently had amazing food, so she dropped us off inside the restaurant and finally went on her way. We were disappointed to quickly realize that this seemed to be another commission stop. The restaurant was full of foreign tourists and the food was really overpriced. So instead, we went to Mr. Wei Burger, which was packed with Chinese tourists. Lunch there cost 169 RMB and the burgers were actually amazing. Next, we headed to Lishan Garden, which is included in your ticket to the Terracotta Army, along with a free shuttle to transfer to the site. This area includes the bronze chariots and horses, plus several smaller pits.
Whoa, got this whole place to ourselves.
You can pay an additional 15 RMB per person for a shuttle bus around the site, but we chose to walk.
What do you think of this walk?
Yeah, it's a nice walk, slightly uphill. Yeah, could have taken the bus, that would have been so much faster. Honestly, I would recommend the bus as it's a lot quicker, the signage isn't great, and we spent quite a bit of time trying to work out where the mausoleum actually was. We then headed back to the hotel in another 6-seater Didi, which cost 263 RMB, and again we were bombarded by a group of taxi drivers when we exited the site. It is always best to avoid them and use Didi instead. And on the way back, something really cool happened. One of our viewers commented that they'd actually seen us at the Terracotta Warriors that day. We also got our first proper look at the Xi'an city walls that night, and it was beautiful. Back at the hotel, the kids had leftover pizza, and David and I enjoyed a coffee out on the terrace. And later, a free snack provided by the hotel. So the day 2 total was 2,460 RMB. After breakfast, again 30 RMB extra for the kids, we took the metro to the bell tower. That cost 2 RMB per person, so 8 RMB total. We bought a combined ticket for both the bell tower and the drum tower, and this was 50 RMB per person and Eva was free, so that was 200 RMB total. These are a couple of historical landmarks that are really quick and easy to visit, plus you get a great view from the upper balconies. Our favourite was watching the bustling streets of the Muslim quarter from the top of the drum tower, which is where we spotted a stall with a huge line. We just had to go try whatever it is that they were selling, and it actually turned out to be rushamu.
I think this is going to be spicy.
Can I try?
Any good?
Tastes like bread to me.
We got 2 to share at 15 RMB each, and we were surprised to find out that the kids loved it. We then proceeded to try a whole bunch of different street food. Pomegranate juice for 15 RMB, fried mushrooms for 15 RMB, a colourful rice cake thingy for 4 RMB, and potato balls for 15 RMB. And yes, those are definitely not the proper names, but if you know what they're actually called, please let me know in the comment section below. One of the unexpected highlights of the entire trip was the Great Mosque of Xi'an. Entry was 15 RMB per person, so 75 RMB for a family. This mosque is incredibly unique because it blends traditional Chinese architecture with Islamic design. Instead of domes and minarets, you walk through a series of peaceful courtyards, gardens and wooden halls that feel more like a Chinese temple. It felt so calm, beautiful and a complete contrast to the busy streets just outside. Back in the Muslim quarter, the kids spotted a guy making what looked like stone necklaces, which actually turned out to be seeds from the Bodhi tree.
That's kind of fun, isn't it?
It's like a Kinder surprise.
Prices ranged from 10 to 50 RMB. Each kid chose one for 40 RMB, so 120 RMB total, and this turned out to be a nice unique souvenir for the kids. For dinner, we ate at Lao Sunjia Inn, where we had dumplings, meat skewers, biang biang noodles, and a yangu paomo, a lamb stew where you break the bread yourself. All of that came to 121 RMB. We then went looking for coffee, but first I tried a sticky rice pudding for 10 RMB.
It's got peanuts.
Can I try? Can I try?
I wish it was a bit warmer. Actually, it's a bean. It's not a peanut, it's got beans.
And honestly, it was tasty, but also very cold, so most of it went in the bin. Coffee from Luckin was much better at 27 RMB for 2 coffees.
That's so yummy.
So lame.
That's literally what I said before.
Yeah, but you did lame.
So was it not lame the first time?
No,
Oh,
it's natural.
well,
Good coffee?
that's so yummy. And it's hot and it's good.
And we then wandered into a souvenir shop where we spent 37 RMB. And something that we have discovered recently is that the kids are at perfect ages where shopping is an enjoyable experience, and we actually have a lot of fun browsing and picking souvenirs together. Next, we walked into a silver museum that had free entry.
This ain't no museum.
We've been tricked.
We quickly realized that it was actually just a shop with clever marketing.
Ah! Ah! Ha! Ah!
花花这香的，香的不得了，香的挺香的，你看香的都是香的，挺香的，你看香它的，花蛮厉害的，它厉害你看花，
He's an angry artist.
To finish off the night, we stopped by Dairy Cream for ice cream, and that was 145 RMB, definitely one of the more expensive desserts of the trip. We walked back to the metro station, but not before stopping to take some nice photos along the way. The metro back to the hotel was 8 RMB all up, so the day 3 total came to 845 RMB. We had a late start because none of us were feeling great this morning, but breakfast again was 30 RMB. We then ordered in for lunch, which was beef burgers with chips and drinks for 165 RMB. And by 3 p.m, we were actually feeling ready to go out and explore some more. We visited the Xi'an City Wall, which was literally a 2-minute walk from our hotel. Tickets cost 54 RMB per adult, 27 RMB per child, and EVA was free, so that was 162 RMB total.
Beautiful.
I was closing my eyes.
You want to have a collection of photos of you closing your eyes?
Yes.
We walked along the wall for about an hour and a half, and it was a great way to see the city from above. Later, we took the metro to the Grey Wild Goose Pagoda, and this was 3 RMB per person, so 12 RMB total. We didn't get to go inside, but the surrounding area is really nice in the evening, with gardens, statues, all beautifully lit up. Inside the nearby mall, we grabbed coffee from M stand at 24 RMB each, so 48 RMB total. And at this point, we had actually walked a lot, so we decided to head back to the hotel and order in for dinner. It was another 8 RMB for the train. For dinner, we ordered a mix of Chinese food. We had potato and meat stew, meat skewers, rishamo, dumplings, and beef and egg fried rice noodles. That cost 156 RMB. And of course, one more ice cream from Lucky Cup for 11 RMB. So the day 4 total was 592 RMB. After breakfast, again 30 RMB for the kids, we checked out of the hotel and we took 2 DD cars to the train station, which cost 60 RMB. So the day 5 total was 90 RMB. So let me break down what we spent in total during our time in Xi'an. For transport, we spent 647 RMB, and that was 603 from DDs and 44 for trains. For food, we spent 1,703 RMB, and that was 637 at restaurants, 236 on street food, and 579 on deliveries. And of course, you can't forget coffee, that was 151 RMB. For entrance fees and guides, we spent 1,197 RMB, and souvenirs 1,077 RMB. That brings us to a grand total of 4,624 RMB. Of course, there are 2 major expenses that I should definitely mention that are not included in that total. One of them is the sleeper train, which was from Hangzhou to Xi'an, and it cost us 2,904 RMB for the whole family. And 2 was our hotel for 4 nights, which was 2,954 RMB. So that takes up the total to 10,482 RMB. By the way, this hotel was fantastic for a family of 5. We loved having the separate living space and a bath that we made the most out of. We thought it was excellent value, and I've actually made a separate video about it, so I'll put that video on the screen here, or if you want to see our journey on the sleeper train, I'll put that video here as well. Make sure that you check them both out next. And if you're planning a trip to China or anywhere internationally, don't forget to check out Saily. You can claim an exclusive 15% discount on Saily eSIM data plans. Just download the Saily app and use the code Elisa15 at checkout. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.